If you're dealing with brain fog, anxiety, low mood, or ongoing fatigue, and you've been told everything looks normal with your blood test, this video may help to explain what's going on. Because for many people, these symptoms aren't just psychological or stress related, they're strongly influenced by what's happening in your gut. A lot of people assume that symptoms like brain fog or anxiety automatically mean that there's something wrong with the brain. But clinically, I often see the opposite, and addressing gut issues often leads to these symptoms like brain fog or even anxiety disappearing. The brain is responding appropriately to signals coming from elsewhere in the body, and the gut is one of the biggest sources of those signals. So instead of asking what's wrong with the brain, a better question is, what signal is my brain receiving? This is where the gut-brain connection becomes really important. The gut and the brain are in constant communication with each other through something called the vagus nerve. Immune signaling, neurotransmitter production, inflammatory messages. When the gut environment is calm and regulated, those signals help a stable mood. When the gut's inflamed and dysregulated, the brain receives different messages. A large portion of neurotransmitters, including serotonin, are produced or regulated in the gut. At the same time, a significant part of the immune system sits there as well. So when digestion is poor, the microbiome is out of balance, and inflammation is present, immune signals can activate brain in ways that affect focus, motivation, mood, and energy. This is why gut issues can often show up as mental and emotional symptoms. Low-grade inflammation is one of the most common drivers of brain fog and fatigue. Where inflammatory signals are elevated, concentration drops, motivation drops, mental clarity declines. This isn't just about being lazy. It's not about a lack of discipline. It's the brain shifting into like a protection mode. And much of that inflammation load can originate in the gut. Especially when digestion is impaired, the microbiome is out of balance. Stress absolutely affects the gut. But the reverse is also true. So when the gut's inflamed or reactive, the nervous system becomes more sensitive. Your stress tolerance drops and anxiety feels more intense and harder to regulate. I often see this when people are chronically constipated, their anxiety goes up. This creates a loop. Stress worsens the digestion worsens the stress. Breaking that loop often requires addressing gut function and not just managing the behavioral thoughts with medications. Stress matters, but it's rarely the whole story, and it's still worthwhile doing stress management techniques that can be helpful. But if you've tried many things without results, maybe it's time to start to assess gut health. If the gut's constantly sending inflammatory or distress signals, the nervous system never fully settles down. And that's why some people are doing everything right, but still feel flat, foggy, and fatigued. If you want a deeper explanation of how gut health, inflammation, and the nervous system interact, I've linked to a comprehensive article on gut health that ties all this together. I'll put a link in the description below. And I've also included links to the advanced stool tests like the GI map and the gut zoomer that I commonly use in practice. These will help you give the answers and take out the guesswork. These stool tests like the gut zoomer and the GI map test do a deep dive into your gut health. Not just assessing parasites and pathogens, but also assessing the microbiome, inflammation markers, absorption markers, and much more. These tests aren't for everyone, but they can be very helpful for things like brain fog, anxiety, fatigue, especially when you've done all the right things and you're still not seeing results. If you want to find out more about these tests, watch this video next where I compare the GI map test with the gut zoomer. If you have any questions or comments, leave a comment below. I'm happy to answer.